Welcome to Mother Suckers Hero Hunters. Hope you're enjoying these videos. I'm having fun making them. So let's start off before we get into Colonel Wesson and the secret to him by doing some upgrades to Butter, and you'll see some of his progression as we take him from 4-stripe gold to platinum. Gets a nice boost and gets that new skill distortion field, which adds some protection against energy attacks, some energy armor, and reducing energy damage. Not bad. We'll take all the help we can get, especially to keep this guy alive. And then now let's take him up to 9-star. So we're going to add a few frags to him, and then we'll take a look at his stats. Alright, and then now let's evolve him. But first let's look at his skills actually and see what's happening, because I like to see the increase. And skills gain 2 when you add stars. So 107,000 for draw fire, 91,000 for defender shield, 10,500 per hit, up to 10,500 per hit for damage eater, which is a great skill that they changed in the last update to make him a lot more tanky, because now whenever shields go from any hero, he gains health back. So look at it now, he's almost 600,000 health, 19,000 damage, 5,000 armor, and let's take a look at his skills. 125,000 for draw fire, 106,000 for defender shield, and 12,200 for damage eater. So he's just become a little bit more tanky. Now I'm going to take him into battle, and I will say this team worked a little bit, and I was having trouble with it later in this tournament that would just happen. I was able to find a way to make this team work by controlling Drake and really just making it work in the tournament. But I got this one win. I want to show you this team. It did work. The problem is that Butter just seems to die really quickly, and if you don't have someone like Ifrit, then any people that die quickly, early deaths, they just don't come back, and that's tough when it becomes 5-on-4. So if I'm going to put Butter, I'm going to find a team maybe that works with him and someone like Ifrit. I don't like Flatline for revives. I like Ifrit better because he's bio and he's a little bit tougher to kill. But this team seemed to work. So I'm using Wesson here just to show, just because it's fun sometimes. But I'm going to reveal to you during this video the real secret to winning with Colonel Wesson, and it's actually very, very simple. So I'm going to demonstrate that in some other PvP matches. So this team I'm using now, I'm only using it once. It definitely got us a few points in this tourney. Jumped us 2 divisions. I love when that happens. 500,000 points in one go. But then it just kept dying after that. So you can see that when I started this tournament, good prizes. I like those mech frags. I like the skin tokens. But look at this, people have millions of points before I even get started, and the top 100 is already at 6 million. So I'm just going to flash ahead. I tried a few different teams. This is over the course of a day or so. But that Butter team didn't really do so well for me after that. I lost a lot of lives. Later in the tournament, I actually found a way to make that team work a little bit better. But this was the team that really got me the most points, with Panzer, Wesson, Drake, Nightingale, and Ifrit. So, going to be fighting Crescent here, tough opponent. And one thing I hate when you're fighting a tough opponent is when you get that symbol, because usually it means the whole match is going to be a bit buggy. It means something's going on. It's not my connection. I don't know what's going on. Servers are busy or whatever, but it's all good. Still got to try to pull out a win. So normally I like to control Panzer or Nightingale, and you're wondering, well, what is the secret to Colonel Wesson? Like, what's going on here? You got him on your team, but how are you using him? Well, there you go. I've just told you what the secret is to winning on a team with Colonel Wesson, is don't actually control him. Have him on your team. He serves some kind of purpose. He does some damage. His airstrike can mess people up, especially if you freeze them in the fire. I found that to be a pretty useful way. If you could stun them while they're in that fire, especially if they're an energy hero, they just take lots and lots of damage. But other than that, just leave him alone. Let him be. If you want to have some fun and try something different, sure, you can control him. But really, that's the secret. So it's actually not that big of a secret. But I think a lot of people are like, how do I get my team to win with Colonel Wesson on it? And I don't know. I don't even know after this tournament if I'm really going to be using Colonel Wesson other than for special events, because it's kind of got a niche usage. So I'm not really like a fan. But you know what? We want to get those extra points. 15x points on a PvP event is huge. So if you can find a way to get a few wins like that, it definitely makes your journey a lot easier. That's how, when I was going to 16 million, most of my teams had Colonel Wesson on them. So I'm I'm gonna just keep trying to finish this battle. Right, and Nightingale is probably one of your best to control, especially against bios. She just keep, and it's your heal. See how fast her heal activates. Every time she makes a hit, then it boosts her bronze skill up so quickly. And you can mark targets who you want to make sure that they don't get invisible. You can even mark Drake. You do extra damage, make sure that they're not getting out of sight, and that's really helpful. So looking back, I probably didn't pick the best kill order here. If it keeps bringing all these folks back to life, but luckily not with that much health, so you can quickly just drop them back down again. Like, there we go, Wesson's back down, Drake's back down. Now it's just a matter of finishing this off. But you know what, in the end it's about getting the wins, but sometimes you realize that after, you're like, oh man, I should have really gone for somebody else first. But you know what, it's all good. That's how we learn, that's how we get better. Always learn from your PvP. If you can record yourself and watch what you did, then that's actually really helpful. It sounds like a lot of work, but how else are you going to know the mistakes that you made unless you can kind of like replay it back, even if you're just conscious of that while you're playing. But sometimes when you're playing, you're in the heat of the moment, you make decisions and you're not really sure what you're doing or why you're doing it. You're kind of maybe acting on instinct because it's like you're in the heat of the battle, adrenaline's pumping, right? So if you can look at it after, making these videos actually helps me to see what I can do differently next time, right? So you know what, give up to Crescent. I won, but it wasn't a blowout. Still had 2 heroes taken down. But this team is doing really well. I have lost them a couple of hearts, but no revives done, and it's helped really get me quite along the way in terms of getting up on these tournament ranks. All right, we got Hades X Alpha 251. He's running that butter team, and I mean, we'll see how he does with it. Like I said, I'm not a fan anymore. At this point in the tournament, I'd given up on it, and later I found out. But I'm just not a fan of Butter. I want to make him work. I hear good things about him, and once in a while I can get a good team rolling. But he just seems to die so quickly. Right, so I know he throws up lots of shields, and that's really helpful once he gets started. But sometimes he'll just die in the first like 5 seconds of a match. So here, this is where Wesson's fire comes in. See that? It was just like someone standing there, they were taking tons and tons of damage, and he wasn't controlling them. So the AI is pretty stupid sometimes. They'll just stand there in the fire and not move, and sometimes they'll be moving too much. So you can't rely on your AI to protect your characters. If you see somebody in danger, switch them, take them out of it if you have to. So he's trying to control Drake. So another thing I see is that when somebody gets stunned, should you just wait there until they come out of the stun? I mean, they're not doing anything. So one other thought is maybe when your character gets stunned is quickly switch to somebody else. Maybe have that character attack the person who's trying to kill you while you're stunned to throw them off. So one of the best players I've seen, they're switching heroes often. They're not just sticking on one. And so I've been trying to really mix it up and switch more in terms of the heroes that I'm using in a match. I mean, I do have some favorites that I lean to, and you want to probably working more with your DPS than you are with support heroes. But I think that just staying on one person, especially if you just stay in one spot, like just try to be like a fixed cannon turret or something, that's just not going to win you matches, especially when you get to tough levels, playing some tough opponents. You really got to pull out all the stuff. So in this case, I am a fan of going for flatline first. She is going to come back unless we can take Ifrit out quickly, which we probably can't, so that's fine. Wait for her to come back, reload with Panzer. Remember in my last video, I was talking about how you got to use Panzer's reload effectively, and don't just stand up and keep firing those 1 or 2 shots once she's reloaded them. Keep letting her go to a large enough clip, loaded enough bullets into her clip that you can make that kill and take them down the rest of the way. So look at that. So now I missed that a little bit, but Flatline did get taken out, but I didn't have enough bullets there to make sure that I finished off. Luckily my AI did that, which is crazy because AI doesn't usually do anything helpful. Alright, so we're about to take this down. If we can get rid of Ifrit, then we don't have to worry about bringing double killing Heimlock. And there you go, another win with this team. So again, you're seeing that really Wesson is probably doing something. I just let him do his thing, and we seem to be winning matches. So that's probably the best use for him. I feel like after this tournament, when no one's using him anymore, that he won't serve as much of a purpose. If I'm facing a team and they've also got Wesson on it, then I know that I could probably take him down pretty quickly. But I don't have to go for him. He's a low priority target, and maybe that's why he's good on your team, because he actually does a decent amount of damage, and he does some cool things for your team, but nobody cares to kill him. They just leave him alone. So maybe that might be the reason why he does well on teams. When you've got like targets that people look at and they're like, he's not going to do anything, and meanwhile they're coming in and they're doing damage and they're actually having an impact on the match. So I don't think they're underrated, but I don't think Colonel Wesson is underrated, but maybe people kind of underestimate what he's going to do in a match. So take it, Nightingale. He's got no revivers. When they have no revivers, it changes the whole tone of the match, because you know once you make a kill, it's permanent. And so that sometimes affects who you're going to kill first. In this case, I'm definitely going to kill Nightingale first, because she's a major healer. Now I know he has Heimlock, and Heimlock adds those shields. He adds not the shields, he adds the extra health, and he also does a pretty decent heal, but it takes a while to kick in, so you can do a lot of things before he gets rolling. He himself can do a little bit of damage, but most of the time he isn't, so I'm not super worried about him. But now that he's almost dead, I figure might as well take him the rest of the way out. Remember, if you watched my last video, I said when you see an opportunity, even if it's not your priority kill, but you have a chance to take somebody down, you're probably better off to just take that rather than focusing on the hero you're trying to kill, because every time you have an advantage of players and heroes on your team versus theirs, it creates a huge advantage in terms of focusing fire from everybody else onto less heroes and getting the job done. Let's see, another PvP match. So I'm just doing these all in a row. This was a good run that I had, and I wanted to show you the possibilities with this team with Wesson on it.
Opponent bound.
Okay, so we got a bot. I like to show bot matches too, because you're going to be facing a lot of bots, and I wanted you to see what it looks like to try to finish a bot team off very quickly, so that you can farm quicker. When you have a bot, it's not about being fancy. It's not about doing anything. You don't have to worry about them pulling off any fancy techniques either. They're just going to be basically spamming bullets and skills. They don't really focus on, we all got to kill this guy first, that hero first. So that's why they're easy to fight. But you also want to do it efficiently, because you want to try to get those gems quicker and those rewards quicker. So I like to try to make bot matches happen in 30 seconds if possible, if not then a minute or less. So we're at 40 seconds now and pretty much almost done. So I'm happy with that. So that's a few wins in a row with this team. And we lost heart here and there, but look, that was a pretty quick battle.
Searching for opponent.
Alright, let's see who we're going to face now.
Opponent bound.
Julient 1-1. I don't think I've ever faced this person. Julient 1-1. I don't know if I've ever faced them before, but looking at their team, pretty typical kind of team that I'm facing right now. The only thing is they don't have Panzer. So then I guess they're maybe thinking that, Drake or Colonel Wesson is their main DPS. So that puts me in an advantage that I have Panzer, because I'm doing a lot of burst damage once her weapon is fully loaded up. And just know once Nightingale goes down, then one step closer. So now she's got to heal, so I'm going to load more of my clip up. Oh, then she went down. So you can take her out. I know she's coming back, but again, just let it happen. So look, this is some of the glitchy stuff that happens in the game. You click a skill, it doesn't work. And be prepared. Try not to get thrown off by that. Just keep going, because you got to get that win. And that stuff happens to everybody, hopefully equally. So it's annoying to all of us, not just one person that's happening to. Okay, so Nightingale's back. Finish her off. So now we know she's not coming back. And now we kind of turn the tides for this match. They can't really do a whole lot of damage to us. So now it's just about not making any silly mistakes, right? Now the kill order, if you want to finish this match quickly, is important. And it really does make sense at this point to take Ifrit out next, so I don't have to double kill all these people. Now, if someone else killed Drake, that's fine if he comes back, but I'm not going to spend my time doing it. So this is really cool. You can actually, if some of the people have been taken out and you can just quickly finish Ifrit off, you really save yourself some time in the match. Switch to Nightingale, keep laying those shots on Heimlock. Try to get those headshots, especially when he's just standing there. Still, there's no reason why you should get the headshot and get that extra damage. Okay, so we're moving up the ranks. We're now 16th at this the tournament at this point. Getting a decent amount of points for every win, mostly because of Colonel Wesson. So I mean, for the rest of this month, you're going to want to find a way to get him on your team to win, because there's going to be more tournaments still. and you know you're going to get butter. Someone else is going to be 10x, but he's always going to be 15x for the month because he's the new one. So I skipped this one. You've already seen a bot match. I just skipped some of that match, but we won. Blew them out of the water. Olympic made. Another bot match. I just like showing you the matches against real people because bot matches are not really real. It's just, okay, we got Wesson again. And let's see if we can do a little bit better this time. Last time it was, he took down 2 of our heroes. But we know what he's up to. And hopefully I'm not lagging this time like I was last time. Maybe that might help. So look, what I was doing there, if you notice, is a tip I gave you from last time, is like fire on somebody else first, get Panzer's skill, which is no longer starting at 100%, get the bronze skill up, and then fire it at Nightingale or whoever, because then you're going to do that bonus damage if they have full health, and they probably still do, especially if it's a rear backline hero. You probably haven't been hit by anybody yet. Usually the front lines take most of the initial damage. So what I was trying to do there was I was firing at some random hero, I don't even know who I fired it at, just to get the skill up, and then I could fire my bronze skill at Nightingale, and you saw it, like I took off so much health in one hit. So that's a really important tip for Panzer I'm going to remind you about. So I guess this video is not actually about Colonel Wesson, even though maybe you think that was clickbait, putting that title on it. This video is actually really part 2 to my last one about Panzer Domination, because you can see I'm really using her more than anybody. Her and Nightingale are like my go-to people. So now let's see if we can finish off Nightingale again. So now good, she's not coming back. So at this point, odds are pretty good that we'll take this win. You never want to get complacent though, like because things happen, right? You never want to get complacent in these matches and try to just assume that you won. There's that low battery warning when I'm playing PvP and I get that low battery warning, and I'm like, oh, now I got to get up and get a charger, and I'm like, I just want to keep playing, but you know what, we don't want to run out. Now here's something I'm doing. If you see, I'm biding my time when I have Ifrit on my team. Wesson died, didn't kill anybody, so he should be revived. Wait it out, save that heart. Don't just finish the match off because you basically just lost a heart there. So that's an important tip for any team where you're using Ifrit, is wait it out. Why not, right? And people have seen that people do that with flatline. They just stall and then quickly switch to flatline and make sure she gets her bronze off and revives the person, and then you finish the match. And that's how you can sustain a little bit longer in some of these matches and keep your PvP experience going on longer. Alright, Thanatos 888. I've never faced him before. Let's see how we can do. So lagging again, but look, that team, like this team is going to go down. I mean, sorry Thanatos, nothing against you, but you're using a team that doesn't belong right now in this tournament. It might have been because you ran out of other heroes. Maybe he doesn't have them. I didn't bother to look him up after this. So look, he killed my Drake, so good for him. And like I said, don't get complacent. I wasn't saying that I'm going to win this easily, but when I saw the makeup of the team, I'm like, he doesn't have any of the kind of people I'm really ever worried about, except he has Panzer, and well, he has Panzer and Dogface. So in some ways, it's actually those two together can be a really good setup. And you can see actually he is doing some damage to me. And I think maybe in this match I got a little bit cocky, so I think my Drake is fully gone. But I mean we still won pretty easily. Look at that. But don't get complacent. You see that? I took out my Drake 2 times, and even though he probably knew it wasn't going to win, he's like, I still want to take somebody down with me. So I thought Drake was coming back. That's why I was stalling here. And I was like, I realized that no, actually Drake already died twice. So good for you, Thanatos. You took my Drake down. We won the match, and I wasn't going to bother to do any more revives. So that's it. Going to take a break from the tournament. Made it up to 15th place, 20 million points. Not bad. And we'll keep going from there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment, and happy hunting.